Once again, thanks for the ones that tuned in to tonight's racing program. But now that is complete. Now tonight, a bit different but very special. For the first time ever here in ODW, we are going to have a Hall of Fame. That is right. We are going to do a Hall of Fame induction ceremony to honor all the greats that have raced in this league and also the ones that currently do. And we definitely plan on inducting more in the near future, also in the years to come. But we decided to honor 20 drivers total that we thought were deserving enough to get inducted into the first two classes in the ODW Hall of Fame. Now, just because they get inducted doesn't mean that they can't continue to race with us. They can race whenever they want. They're always welcome. But, I mean, Ironman, what do you think? I mean, we didn't announce yet who they are, but I mean, this is definitely an exciting and historic moment here for our league. Oh yeah, absolutely. And I mean, every single one of these guys. I mean, Iron Man can back up these guys that put in the hard work, the dedication year after year. I mean, a lot of these guys, either raced a couple full seasons or a couple races, or they've raced literally every single one. I mean, it. We just go by what we thought was the best. For this class. And I tell you what, every single one of them definitely deserves to be here, and we can't wait to announce who they are. But, I mean, honestly, Iron Man, like far as a whole talent whole, I can almost guarantee you we were in good hands for the past, present, and definitely the future for sure. 26 showed up. Yep, and even now season 7 coming up. I mean, it's just ongoing. Heat 5 late models customs. Pretty much. Yep. Yep. Absolutely. Well, Iron Man, I mean, some of the people and some of the drivers especially is probably going to stay up to watch us. So you ready to dive into this great, fantastic Hall of Fame list? All right. Well, we inducted 20 guys, and we're going to start with the first 10, which would be Class 1. And I'll announce them. We'll go over their stats, their accomplishments and stuff, and then we'll kind of give you just a little quick of, why we thought they deserved it and basically the driver and person that they were in the league as a whole. But, and here we go, folks. Our first ever Ocean Dirt Warrior Hall of Fame inductee goes to none other than XX Gator Man, known as Ran Man. And he is the first Ocean Dirt Warrior Hall of Fame inductee. I mean, I could go on and on about this guy all night long, but he had a total of 25 career Ocean Dirt Warrior wins, which is the most all time, and he had 2 Crown Jewel big race wins that we've ever done in this league. So, I mean, he is the first Hall of Fame inductee, and Iron Man, what do you think of that first pick? except for one. Yeah. Oh, absolutely. I mean, Randman was one of them guys that almost everyone in the field, and myself included, looked up to the guy. I mean, he was one that just about every race that he came or showed up to, I mean, he would always, pick on me and Iron Man. He always made us work better as, league people. He always inspired me and him to do better as league promoters and league owners. And that's one thing I can't ever thank Randman enough for. And I mean, I know he's over there dominating in iRacing right now. I mean, the dude's tearing it up over there too, just like he did over here in Ocean Dirt Warriors. And whenever he decides he wants to come out, I mean, even if he never does, I mean, what all he did for us and for everyone as a whole, as far as helping them with setups, giving them tips, whatever it may be. I mean, Randman definitely is definitely a class act guy, and he definitely deserves this Hall of Fame spot for sure. And all right, now we're going to the second one, and this guy's another one too. I mean, he's a stud as well, and we might see him back here soon. YT Dark Ending is our second Hall of Fame inductee, and he's another one too, Iron Man. I mean, he's won 15 career wins here in the league. He has two. That's Series championships here in OD He won the NASCAR Heat 4 Late Model Custom Championship, and he won a NASCAR Heat 5 for Season 3. He won the first one and the third one. And I mean, Dark Ending was another competitor too. I mean, you never could count him out in any race he was in. And he was another great competitor, and he definitely has the resume also to back it up. And he ran with this literally 6 full seasons. Iron Man can back him up on that. I mean, he was a true competitor. And what do you got to say about Dark Ending, Iron Man? He was definitely consistent, yeah. hmm Yep, and Dark Ending is the second inductee. And definitely a close friend of mine, and he definitely deserves that spot. And now we're moving on to the third spot, and that will be another driver that Iron Man knows very well. It'll be Cobra Nation, and a name that hasn't been heard in a while as well. But I tell you what, he has a total of 9 career Ocean Dirt Wars when he has a Crown Jewel win also. And here's another guy too that had an incredible resume. He still has the most wins in a single championship season. He had 7 wins. That's right, 7 wins in one season for his Season 2 championship on NASCAR Heat 5. And that is definitely an impressive resume as well to back it up, Iron Man. Oh, absolutely. Absolutely. I mean, he was another one that helped me too when I used to race. I mean, same with Randman. I mean, Cobra's another guy that we could look up to as a guy that would help you out no matter what. I mean, he even if he didn't know you, he would still always want to try to help you out, and he always wanted to, like whatever league he was in, he also wanted the next guy to be up at his level, so that way it helps make the league grow and make it more competitive. And guys like that is why the league has been running for so many years. I mean, it's just truly how it is. And it just helps the sport grow.
All right, hold up for 1 second. People in the stream, let me know if y'all can hear me. Give me a thumbs up in the chat. I'm sitting here looking at it. I just changed some settings around. Give me 1 second. Let me see if they can hear me now. All right, they can hear me now. We good to go.
Okay. All right, sorry about that, fellas. But anyways, that was your first three inductees into the Hall of Fame. It was Randman, Dark Ending, and Cobra Nation. Now, our next one, he's not raced with us in a couple years, but when he did, I mean, he was definitely another one that was definitely a dark horse, and he was definitely a very good driver. Too Slow Charlie is another one that we inducted into the Hall of Fame. He's well deserving. He had 6 career Ocean Dirt Warriors wins. I mean, he was another one too that, I mean, he had a chance at a championship and backed out last minute due to altercations, but I mean, he was another guy that ran with us a little bit on Heat 5 and Heat 4, and then he ran with us on Tony Stewart for a little bit. That's how he got his wins. But yeah, Too Slow Charlie is our 4th inductee into the Hall of Fame, and he's another one, you know, Randy, sorry, Iron Man, that another one too, just like Cobra and Randman, he was another one that always helped a lot of people out with setups.
He was, and he was always one just like them that if they had a race coming up on Thursday, on Wednesday night, they're going to try to make the top of the all-time board. They're going to make sure their setup's working. They're going to make sure, and this is including, you know, top three, including him. You know, it's one of them people that he wasn't going to show up if he didn't know his setup wasn't right.
Yep, absolutely. And yeah, I mean, Too Slow Charlie was an all around great guy. I mean, he was a great competitor, and he's another reason, too, that a lot of our younger guys are up in this league. You know, him, Randman, Dark Ending, and Cobra, and a few more that we're going to name literally paved the way for these younger guys that we saw tonight that just started. You know, these guys definitely paved the way for the younger generation coming up here in ODW. That is definitely for sure. And we can't ever thank them enough.
Oh, yeah.
And now the 5th spot, another name that hasn't been heard in a while, but he was one of our original guys also, and that is Tay Keith. That is right. Tay Keith is our 5th ODW Hall of Fame
And
inductee.
he's in our stream watching.
Yep, and if he can hear me, I mean, he was definitely a great competitor, great driver, and he was another one, too, that used to help me out back when I raced, and I can't ever thank him enough. He's another one that moved on to you're listening, bud, you're in the ODW Hall of Fame, and you absolutely deserve it. Congratulations, man. And you had a hell of a career here in ODW, and, you know, we just love to honor guys like you that paved the way for all of us and made our league grow the way it is today.
And
Got
he
any
can't
comments there, Iron Man?
Oh yeah, and he knows what's coming. You know, we moved over to Tony Stewart after Heat 5, and I never will forget it. The first time we all got on that game, and he got in a party with me, Cobra, Randy, all of us, and he's like, I wouldn't buy the game. You know, it's all just the same. I wouldn't waste my money. We're all gonna be back on Heat 5. And a week later, he was on there dominating, and I have never let him live it down. You know, he's one of my good buddies that I raced with for a long time.
Mm-hmm.
He's a great guy. You know, he's just one of them people that you gotta give a hard time because he puts himself in those positions. But I will never forget the one night the best I'd ever done in a league race. We was doing the King of the Hill at Eldora on I think it was Heat 4 still,
I
and
think
me and
so.
him got paired up, and I run door to door with Tay. That was the best I've ever run, and you know we run door to door, never touch, never nothing, and he ended up beating me. But for me to be able to compete with someone on that level, you know, it made me feel proud because he was one of the faster guys. You know, he was one of them that, like you said, paved the way and
Yeah.
brought the younger generation up.
Oh, absolutely. And That's your 5 guys so far. We got a whole bunch more coming at you. And here is our 6th guy. I mean, this guy was racing with us here tonight. I mean, he won his heat race. He got on the front row of the A. Kind of screwed up and fell back a little bit. But, I mean, this guy is no stranger to ODW. He has a total of 9 career wins. I mean, I know he's looking for that one great big one, and someday he'll get it for sure. And that is Hedo 819. I mean, he's another guy that definitely deserved to be in the ODW Hall of Fame for sure. I mean, Heat's another one we looked up to as a racer all these years, us being on these, dirt racing video games. I mean, Heat's another one that always used to help people out. He's helped out a tremendous amount of people. He always helped out leagues too, try to get leagues better. He was another one too that helped us out. I mean, Iron Man can testify, always giving us different ideas of what would work better far as races and different things like that, and helped us out in getting drivers and stuff. I mean, he was just a world class that guy, and I can't ever thank enough everything that he's done far as a driver and everything else here for ODW, and he definitely deserved that
Oh,
spot.
oh yeah, he's always been the one. You know, a lot of our guys in each stream you hear, they thank us for the shows we put on, the effort we put into it.
Hmm.
He's always been one that stuck around with us. He's always been one to uh, help us, tell us what we could do better, what we could change to better the league,
Yep.
stuff like that.
Oh yeah.
And he is the type of guy, he wants people to be fast with him. He's
Hmm.
going to be the guy to actually slow down. And I can testify this firsthand. On Heat 5, he got in there with me and taught me where to lift so I could get better bike coming off the turn and not wash up the track. He helped me with my wheel. He helped me with setups. He was the type of guy that, just come in and is like, let's make everybody fast. And so was Randy, so was Cobra, so was Tay. They all want to see everybody fast and want to have that competition.
Hmm. Absolutely. But yeah, congrats again to the other 5 guys that got in so far, and also to you, Hedo 819. You definitely deserve that spot also, and you'll be remembered in this league forever. And another guy here too that moved on to iRacing, but he definitely deserves this. I mean, he was one of our originals also, and that our 7th spot will go to Matty Black. That is right. Matty Black is one of our originals. He ran with us for probably a good 3 or 4 seasons for sure. I mean, Matty
For
Black
four and a
was,
half.
yeah, I think it was about 4, 4.5, but he was an absolute amazing competitor. He also, I think, yeah, he had no, it was 4 career Ocean Dirt Warriors wins. He's another one that had a good amount of wins in this league, and he was in contention a couple times for a couple different league championships. Never could pull it out, but I mean, Matty Black was another one too that. When I started racing, the first 2 seasons I raced with my guys. I wasn't a streamer and stuff, but I mean, he was one too that I got into running the league and stuff, and Matty Black was always a class act guy. I mean, he wasn't one I'd come in and say too much. He was one like a lot of these other guys. They let their driving and their skills on the track do the talking, and that's just the type of guy that Matty Black was. And he's another one too that paved the way for the younger guys coming up. And he was one guy though, it took him forever to win in this league, but he never gave up. He kept grinding, kept working hard, and he finally got some wins, and he definitely deserves a Hall of Fame spot.
I agree. He was always the class act. He was always tight. If he showed up, he muted his mic. He was the polite guy. He was the one that was ready to race. He was there just to race. It wasn't the BS and joke around and all that like we
Yep.
do. Matty showed up, he raced, and he got back off. That
Yep.
was his thing. If he had a problem, he didn't go whining to everybody in the group chat and everything
Nope.
else. It was always just straight to the point,
Yep.
and he was done.
Oh yeah. Yeah, absolutely. And congratulations to Matty Black on a Hall of Fame spot, and he definitely deserves it. Now moving on to the 8th spot. I mean, we don't know if he's going to come back or not. It's been rumored that he is, and then he doesn't. But I mean, this 8th guy right here, he definitely deserves it. And he's also champion here in OD-Dub. It is Tiny Hammer who gets the 8th Hall of Fame spot. I mean, he's another one, too, that ran with us for a good 4 or 5 seasons, and he had a championship. He has 4 career wins with the league with OD-Dub, and he's another one, too, that definitely deserves a Hall of Fame spot. And Tiny Hammer was another class act guy, great, respectful on and off the racetrack, and Tiny Hammer definitely deserves this one and a Hall of Fame spot.
Oh yeah, me and Tiny, we run door to door, and he sent me a picture actually the other week of us running 1 year league races door, side by side at Charlotte, and
Hmm.
he's like, "You remember these days back when we were both fast?" And kind of laughing. I was like, "Yeah, I do."
Yeah, I mean, Tiny Hammer is just one of them guys that he was another one too that loved helping out other people and he loved helping out the league. And anytime I had an exciting race or league or anything, he was always one that definitely was waiting for me to post and share and send out stuff. I mean, he always would respond usually pretty quick, and he just loved racing our stuff. And hopefully someday he comes back. If not, hey, it's fine. But he definitely deserves a spot in the OD Dub Hall of Fame. Now
He
moving
said the
on to the
last
ninth.
bad
Oh,
the
sorry.
last bad storm actually knocked out his internet, and they have not repaired it. That's why he hasn't been back yet. He has the World Outlaw games. He's playing offline. He's practicing offline, and he's getting it ready.
Well, that's good to hear. You heard it here, folks. A former champion soon will be back on his way. But anyways, moving on to the ninth spot. I mean, this guy also deserves it too. I mean, he's ran with us for. I mean, he ran with us the first 2 seasons. He left for about a year or two. Came back, ran the last 2 seasons on World of Outlaws, and he has been absolutely dominant in the sliders. And that is Recycler OT. And he won his first championship, the first slider series that we did, and he has a total of 7 career wins with the league. And he also won our special Winter National Series point steal that we had last season. He won that as well. That was another championship, but it wasn't a regular season championship. But he still has 2 overall champions and 1 regular season title. And he was another one too. I mean, he was an up and comer. I mean, he was one where he never won. He was decent though, and he had to work and grind for what he had, but then he really stepped it up and got a heck of a lot better once the Outlaws came out. And he's just been a real solid competitor, and we look forward to seeing him back here soon. And he's been a really great competitor, and he definitely deserves a Hall of Fame spot.
And for the ones in the stream that don't know who Recycler is, some of our older guys, Recycler is Bot Killer.
Yep.
He started out as one of the guys that he was in the top 15, top 10. He made the race every week. He showed up every week and never gave up to the point where, he went away for about 2 seasons and he come back, and when he come back, he was on fire.
Oh yeah, absolutely. I mean, it didn't matter where he started. I mean, he was always in contention to win. At the end, there was a lot of races. He was just on fire. Had a couple good winning streaks going, and he's definitely going to be a. He's still got a long ways yet, I think, in his career, but for what he's done already, he definitely deserves a Hall of Fame spot. Now, the last one, he hasn't raced with us in quite a while. We've seen him once or twice in the slider series in World of Outlaw, but he ran with us for a solid 2 full seasons on the back in the heat days, and that is Scar. And Scar got the last Hall of Fame spot in the first class. I mean, Scar was another one too. He was an absolute amazing competitor. I mean, he was another one that worked hard on his craft, setups, driving, you name it. And he had his guys that he loved to help and some that didn't, but it was just part of his style and part of his personality. But at the end, though, he loved supporting OD Dub when he did race with us, and he was an absolute amazing competitor, and he was a pretty solid guy. So, I mean, I think Scar definitely deserved a Hall of Fame spot.
Oh yeah, Scar was one of my top 10 picks. He was, Heat 5, everybody had their own little clique they run with. It was kind of funny. Ram Man always called the ones that run with all of us ran Man Motorsports and Cobra Chassis and stuff like that. You know, just little funny nicknames. And then there was Scar that had his group he run with, and you know, when we all come into a league race, it was, you know, basically like it is in real racing. You got Longhorn, you got Excel, you have all these different chassis that
Yep.
are all competing against each other. So it made it fun going into a league race when you got three or four guys with this setup, or you know, sharing setups and working together, and you got three or four more working together. And then, you know, everybody just kind of had their own little clique that they run with, and that's kind of how it was with Scar. Scar was kind of like Matty Black. You know, he was straightforward. He was to the point. He was the type that if you made him mad, you was going to know about it, but he wasn't going to do anything to interfere with a race.
Oh yeah, absolutely.
And he was definitely one of my top 10 picks, you know, either first class or second class.
Oh yeah, absolutely. I mean, he could have been either one, but he definitely deserved a spot to start with, and that will do, folks. That was your first class. We got one more coming up, 10 guys, but I mean, I tell you what, Iron Man. I mean, I think we did a really good job with that first class. That's for sure. We had a lot
Oh,
of mixture
yeah.
of good talent in that top 10.
We had a lot of good mixture of different talent. We had a lot of good mixture of different era drivers. You know,
Yep.
some of them has been with us from the start. Some of them run with us from the start to a certain season and stopped. And then some of them, like we was talking about with Bot Killer, he went away for a little while and then come back.
Yep.
And each time one of them does that, they come back better and stronger.
Oh yeah. Absolutely. I mean, with as many talented drivers that we've had over the years, and like I was telling everyone before, I mean, me as the owner of this league, I ran 2 full seasons with these guys. Iron Man could testify. I ever only won one race. Literally one race in my own league. That goes to tell you the talent and the drivers that we've had in this league. I mean,
Hell,
there's
I've
not
run
really
six
too many
seasons
other.
and
I
ain't
mean,
never
I
got a win.
honestly. What's that?
I said, hell, I run six seasons and ain't never got a win besides the heat race.
Yeah, I mean, it just goes to show you the quality of talent and competition that we have in this league because both of us are not afraid to have good quality guys in this league no matter what. I mean, as long as if they're good and clean guys, I mean, it don't matter if we have 50 red hot, you know, talented guys that are all running 12 or 10-second lap times. That ain't going to scare us. We bring them all in, and it just what makes the league and the atmosphere much better for the fans to watch and enjoy. It really does. And it just helps the league grow. But, all right, so we'll start into this second class. I mean, this is another good class also. And first one, I mean, there was a couple guys we picked on here that doesn't have wins, but that wasn't all what this was about when we picked it. I mean, this one guy here for sure deserved a spot, and he's on the top of the second class, and that is Deadpool. That is right. I mean, he's only ran with us a couple times. It's not like he ran full seasons or anything, but when he did, he was a type of guy that was very a popular guy. I mean, he had his own YouTube channel. He always helped people, you know, far as with setups and stuff. He was one of them famous YouTubers, but when he did come and race, he always brought the crowd with him to watch. And I tell you what, I mean, Deadpool always brought an amazing, but also kind of intense and sometimes intimidating personality. But as far as a driver goes and on the track, but Deadpool you could never count out regardless what race he was in. I mean, back in the Heat days, there was this track called Jefferson. I mean, that was his track. And we had one special race one time at Jefferson. I mean, everyone thought he was going to win, but surprisingly, he got beat by Cobra, which, you know, Deadpool's hardly ever been beat at the track Jefferson. But I tell you what, that was his Achilles heel, one of his best tracks. But he was just a really good driver. Only ran with us on NASCAR Heat 4 and 5, but he definitely deserved to be in this class, and he was another one that paved the way for these younger guys.
Yeah, I agree. You know, Deadpool, it didn't matter if he was still in the game or not. If you had a question, I mean, he wouldn't even be in front of the game, and you could message him and be like, look, my car's doing this. What should I do to change it? And I only know two other guys that can, three, you know, counting heat, but three other guys that can do that just off the top of their head without being in front of the game and making the change with you.
Yeah.
And that's Randy, or Randman, Cobra, and Deadpool and Heat. Them four can tell you anything about a car on that game that just, you know, they could tell you without even being on the game. If your
Hmm.
car's pushing, do this to change it. If your car's loose, do this to change it. If you ain't got enough gear, whatever. Deadpool was one of those guys. He didn't mind helping. He was going to give you his honest opinion to help you change the game and make you better.
Yep. Yeah, and Deadpool definitely deserved a Hall of Fame spot, and congratulations to him, and he was well deserving of the first Hall of Fame spot in the second class. Now, here's another guy that we decided to put in here. He is currently runs with us. We've seen him tonight, had a solid top five run, and we decided to put him in here because we know he's definitely going to be a superstar in the making later down the road as well. Same with Bot Killer, now Recycler. He's another future for this sport and for OD Dub. Nichols Tony is officially in the Hall of Fame. I tell you what, Nichols is one of them guys that definitely deserve to be in this Hall of Fame. I mean, sometimes he makes mistakes, but we all do it, man. But I mean, just like tonight, I mean, he was running, he was battling for the lead and stuff, and then he screwed up, spun out, hit the wall. Caution came out. He restarted, I think, sixth or eighth, he said, and he came right back, and he was in second at one point. But, and he fell off a little bit because his car got tight, but he still managed a top five, and that's the thing. The only thing that's been his Achilles heel most of the time is his internet lag out issues. I mean, some of them times that he got lagged out, it cost him races.
Oh
So,
yeah, he could be out front and be checked out running and lag out, and it sucked for him. And he always, like you said, he was always a strong competitor. He was always the type to be there.
yep.
And no matter what, the day before or the day of, he's going to be on. He's going to be practicing. He's going to be asking
Hmm.
everybody, "You want to run practice lobbies?" And he's not. I've been on there with some people, and they just be sandbagging the whole race to the point where it's not even fun practicing with him. And he's always tight. He's going to run his car, see what it does against you.
Yep.
It don't matter. And
Hmm.
that's one thing that always stood out to me about Nicholas.
Yep. Yeah, and I mean, he was very close to winning the Winter National Series. He was very close to winning a championship or two. He has 8 career wins, but I'm sure he keeps working hard on it. And he gets his internet issues fixed to where it don't hurt him. I could see him very well being a champion in OD Dub one day. His time's coming, but it's just a matter of time. But I'm sure he will definitely get there at some point in his career.
Oh yeah.
And all right, now there was another guy that was with us tonight. He just came back. He used to run with us a lot on Tony Stewart, and he is the third selection here in the Hall of Fame for the second class. And this man definitely deserves it. He always has my respect, and he's always very respectful every time he shows up. And that is RPM, who was our pole sitter here tonight at the race you just saw moments ago. And RPM's one of them guys. I mean, he has 1 career win in OD Dub. I mean, he was one that ran toe to toe with guys like Too Slow Charlie. Some of the guys we inducted earlier, like Cobra, Charlie, Take Keith, Heat, Randman. RPM was always a stout guy and very clean. I mean, he made a mistake early, cost him a lot of spots, but you seen he came back up through the field and almost got a top five. So you can't ever count RPM out. He's a great mentor to a lot of other drivers. Great setup guy, and he is a true OD Dub Hall of Famer. And congratulations to RPM, he deserves it.
Oh yeah. I was running with RPM before the race, and I got into him a little bit. I sent him a message. I said, "My bad, didn't mean to get into you." And he said, "Ain't no problem." He said, "Literally, I just put the setup in. I'm trying to get back used to it. I ain't had much time to play." And hearing that, and then seeing what he done tonight, sitting on the pole for the main, and then he having his misfortunes and coming back to the top 10, that was really that would really stand out. It shows the work that he puts in,
Mm-hmm.
and I think he's one of them people that does it on his own. He ain't the type that's getting help from everybody. he's the type to just build his setup and run it.
Yep. Oh,
And that's
absolutely.
that's mad respect for me because he's doing this and he's telling me he ain't been on the game and then comes from 15th or yeah 15th because I ended up passing him at one point and going back up to top 10. That was real talent right there.
Oh, absolutely. And I mean, like K Mac said it best. I mean, with the setups in that game, a lot of tracks is just so hard to catch up to people. Because once you get in clean air at them custom setups, they're all running the same speeds a lot of times. It's just so hard to catch up to people and to see what he did in that short amount of time towards the end of the race after that caution. That just goes to show you that he was able to work hard and do what he had to do.
Yep.
And congratulations once again to RPM. And now our fourth driver. Here's another name that hasn't been in talks for a while. He ran pretty much three full seasons with us or so. And this guy definitely deserves a Hall of Fame spot, and that is Scrappy Doo. That is
Yeah.
right. And he had two career Ocean Dirt Warriors wins on NASCAR Heat 5. I mean, he's another driver, didn't start with us quite right away, but once he got on board with us, he came in about halfway through the first season, and then he ran with us ever since for a couple seasons. I know he hasn't been on in a while, but I tell you what, it was just the way that he brought himself as a driver and as a person. I mean, he never really gave us any problems. He was one that always loved to help out and gave us tips and different things to do and stuff. And I tell you what, I mean, Scrappy Dude definitely deserves to be in the Hall of Fame class. And, even if he never comes back for the stuff that he did do, he definitely deserved to be in this class.
Oh yeah, he was always a great competitor. He was always one that was always in a good mood. He kept everybody laughing.
Hmm?
Just simple fact of being in the chat with him, he was one that stood out to me because, like I said, he helped. He didn't do the whole whining and everything else in the chat. He showed up. He raced. He had a good time with everybody. He made it a good time, and that's one thing that stood out to me about Scrappy.
Yep, absolutely. And congratulations to Scrappy Doos. He's the fourth driver into the second class here in the ODW Hall of Fame. And here's the fifth one in the second and final class for this year, and that is expert level. I know he wasn't with us tonight, but I mean, he was one that, he was good on. He ran with us for quite a few seasons on NASCAR. He never could get it done, but he's another one just like Recycler. Once the Outlaws came around, he got better, came back, and he started winning races, and he has 4 career wins already with the Outlaws. He had a special win in the Street Stocks and Winter Nationals. I mean, expert level is definitely a class act guy. I mean, he runs leagues himself too, but he was one, like earlier this year, even before the Winter National and during it, he was always talking to the drivers about how great of a league we have, and he was encouraging the guys to support us, and he was, very impressed and happy with how I've grown as a league owner and how this channel's grown. And he's one it didn't matter if you didn't run his league or not, he would still come and support yours, and that's why he definitely deserves his Hall of Fame spot for sure, in my opinion.
Oh yeah, Expert was one of the first people to ever give me a setup on Heat 4, and me and him started racing together way back then, and he was like you said, he went away for a little while, and he come back, and when he come back with a vengeance. He come back ready to win and put work in and did the job that had to be done to actually be
Hmm.
competitive with the league.
Yeah. Oh yeah, absolutely. And that is your fifth driver in this Hall of Fame class. We got 5 more to go coming at you. And so far, Iron Man, with 15 drivers in, a lot of good names so far.
Well, I just got word from one of our veterans, and one of them we inducted into the Hall of Fame tonight. He will be back, and that's the third person in the first list. Cobra Nation is coming back.
Oh boy. That is absolutely amazing, and tell him thanks. I'm sure he probably can hear me if he is listening to it, and he's, you know, I love the support from him, and he was one that helped the league out, when I was left high and dry. And, if it wasn't for him, who knows if we would, if I still would even have a league. So I
Oh
definitely
yeah.
want to thank Cobra for all what he did, and can't wait to have him back. We're always welcome back in open arms, that's for sure.
Oh yeah.
So now this next one here, he's the sixth guy in the second class, and that is it's Fergie time. And this what was really impressive with me about this guy. I mean, he was one that didn't race with us all the time, but and Ironman can contest to this. This was our second season opener, and this was when I still raced. I mean, Richmond back then was a really good track on Heat 5, and it literally brought us the most cars we ever had in a race. We had 55 cars in that
Yep.
race. No joke. I mean, we had two full B mains, like literally stacked head to toe. The heat races were stacked, and it was an amazing atmosphere the whole night. I mean, I honestly wish I was streaming then for that, because that would have been amazing to have on this channel. I mean, like I said, 55 cars, myself included, because I raced. And I tell you what, I mean, we even had to have a non-qualifier feature. There was that many guys there. And Fergie Time pulled, that was his only career win with this league, and it was the most drivers we ever seen in a race with our league. So, I
Yep.
mean, that there, I mean, even though it wasn't a crown jewel, that was still an impressive race to win. And with all it, I mean, just about all this Hall of Fame class, like Randman, Dark Ending, Cobra, Charlie, Tay, Heat, Matty, Scar, Deadpool, like all these big name guys were in that race. And Fergie Time was the one that pulled it out. So, I mean, that alone, I mean, and just the way he carried himself every time he came, he was just a great driver, great person to talk to, interact with, and he definitely deserves a Hall of Fame spot.
Oh yeah. Here's another one going back to Scrappy. That entertaining in the chat. He was the type to keep everybody laughing. He did show up. He showed out that race, and you know, Richmond was the type of track where you had to have your car perfect, and if it
Yep.
wasn't, you wasn't going to be able to run. And he showed up that night, and his car was, just like we said, it's perfect. Because if you showed up with a car that wasn't, you was going to end up in a wall or bouncing through the ruts or whatever.
Yep. And you were going to
And
have yourself in a B main and going home early or running the non Q. I mean, that's,
yeah, you
if
was
you
going to
didn't,
come hang out with Iron Man, basically.
yeah, I mean, it was just that ridiculous of a race and a whole for that night to have that many cars show up. I mean, will we ever break that? I mean, you never know. Records are meant to be broken, but it's going to be tough. I mean, it's been
Yep.
a long time since we've had that kind of a, level of
Showing.
atmosphere and show up of drivers. Yeah,
I mean,
that's
we've
for
had
sure.
close to that roll call, but we haven't had close to that show
Yeah, yeah. I mean,
up.
we've had it with roll call, but I mean, roll call doesn't fully count. I mean, it counts when
Exactly.
they're here in the parties, in the race lobbies. That's when it's actually for real. But
Yep.
but we're down to our last four guys that definitely earned these spots, and the next one, and that's a guy I've been trying to get to come back, but he just, I guess, just isn't racing anymore. I know he was another one that went to iRacing too, because he was a very talented kid. And the reason I say it was kid because that was his name, but it was Danger Kid, and Danger Kid deserved this spot for sure. I mean, he was another one too. It took him forever to win with us. He ran with us a good two full seasons on
And
Heat
come back
5
partial or
and Heat
something.
4. Yeah, oh yeah, and then he was another one that went away for a little while. I mean, he ran with us, I think, a couple races on Tony Stewart. He was always competitive, but then
Hall of Fame.
he finally got a win with us on the big blocks on Tony Stewart.
Yep.
And I mean, he never ran with us on the Outlaws, but I know he won another race too. I think it was on Tony Stewart also, but
I think
he,
it was. He won two straight back to back.
yeah, he won two straight back to back on Tony Stewart. I'm pretty sure that was the big blocks that he won in, but and he was another great competitor and great driver, and he definitely deserves a Hall of Fame spot. You got
Oh
anything
yeah,
to say, Iron Man?
I definitely agree. Danger Kid, he showed up in the big blocks, and you know, he went back to back to beat some of the best ones we had in there. And everybody said Tony Stewart, whatever. They said the game wasn't great. They said whatever, but it took just as much talent to race on Tony Stewart than it did over here on World Outlaws. And
Yeah.
he was one that he showed up, and if you seen him in the lineup, you knew he was going to be in the top five when the feature rolled around.
Oh, absolutely. Our top 10 for sure.
Oh yeah.
Well, congratulations to Danger Kid on the seventh spot. We got three guys left, and here's another one that hasn't been named in a long time. I mean, he's come real close to winning a bunch. He's another one that we put on here, never won a race in our league, but he was one guy that ran with us for, I think, 2.5, maybe 3 seasons. I'm not sure. I know it was two for sure on the Heat series, but that was about it because he never really got into Tony Stewart. But that's Blackwell Ryan. I mean, that name hasn't been heard in a while. But I tell you what, Blackwell's another guy that always was a great competitor. He was always close to win no matter what, just never could quite pull it off to get the win. But Blackwell was another guy that paved the way for a lot of these younger guys, and he was a great veteran and a great driver, and he also loves supporting the league, and he definitely deserves this Hall of Fame spot.
I agree, and there's some people in the chat that agrees with you. Tay Keith asked when we was in the first top 10. Tay Keith asked about Ryan or Blackwell Ryan, and asked if he was going to be inducted, and you know that just goes to show you that other competitors are asking about this guy. So that shows what kind of guy he really was. It
Oh,
shows that,
absolutely.
and it shows the type of competition we had where we were all buddies. Because you got people that Tanner Swaley, Tay Keith, people are asking, what about Blackwell Ryan? Is he going to be inducted? Because he's one that should. And it that shows what kind of stand-up people we have.
Oh, absolutely. And that's the thing, like with all the people that we've had and stuff in this league, they'll never forget you. If you come in and just be a solid competitor and just be a solid person, like you don't have to win or you don't have to win championships all the time. I mean, if you come in and you interact with the guys and you put on a good show, for yourself, for them, and for the fans, for the people watching, that's what they're going to remember the most about you. And that was one, that's why people are asking about certain guys. Hey, are they going to get put in? And he definitely deserved it.
No, yeah, he was definitely one that when you started talking about this, he was one that stood out in my opinion. Because yeah, he may not have won. Yeah, he whatever, but he showed up. He was competition. It was fun.
Hmm.
Me and Blackwell, and he was. You could run door to door with him for on Heat 5, 99 laps, and he's never going to touch you. You're going to run clean for the whole 100 lap race. And, it's going to be a shootout with him. He's not going to try to bump you, he's not going to try to move you. He was the type that was going to run you clean as possible, and if you had a better car than him, you had a better car than him.
Yeah, absolutely. So we're down to the final two guys here in the OD Dub Hall of Fame class. 18 have been announced and inducted. And this 19th guy, I mean, he's another one too that was kind of like Deadpool and another one or two that we inducted that never ran full seasons, but when he did, he was always a great competitor and he won 2 races. He won a crown jewel race in Tony Stewart in the street stocks, and he won another one. I mean, he was with us in the uh, first ever custom setup race on World of Outlaws for the Supers, and that is It's Just Harold. I mean, he's another one that we decided we would put him in because, I mean, he was always a great competitor, and I'm sure he's not done running with us. He'll probably come back at some point, but he was another great competitor, and we loved having him here, and he definitely deserved a spot in the Hall of Fame.
I agree. Harold was the type, he was like Randy and him. He's going to show up, he's going to work on his setup. and he reminded me of Charlie, and Cobra and Randy because if he was going to run the race, you're going to see him on the top 10 leaderboard,
Hmm.
and he's going to be towards the top of the list. If he wasn't happy,
Yeah.
and he was a stand-up guy.
Yeah. Absolutely. And he definitely deserved a spot in that class for sure. And that is your 19 guys. We got one remaining. And I mean, there was a lot of guys we could have considered to put in here for sure, too. But I mean, even though if your name's not on this list, don't panic or get upset or mad or worry about anything because, like, we're going to do another Hall of Fame next year, and your name might be popping up on this list next year. These were just the guys that we thought that deserved to be in the first full class. And, this last guy here, I mean, he was one that, up and coming. I mean, we see he raced with us tonight. And,
He's finished in the top three in championships a couple of times.
yes, he did. And two exactly on Heat 5. He came close both times. In season, I think it was 3 and 4 both. He was top 3 in both of
Four and
them.
five.
I thought, well, I know he ran second to ending in season 3. And then
Yep,
I think it was
that's right.
three
That
and
is right. It was
four.
3 and 4
Yeah, 3 and 4. He
because
was top
me,
three
him,
in
and Ending had
points.
a.
Yep, absolutely. And this guy is Tanner Swaley, like I used to call him when he ran the pink car back in the day, the Pink Flamingo. But yeah, Tanner's another guy we definitely thought was deserving of a spot. I mean, he showed up tonight and competed. I mean, he ran his heart out tonight. Unfortunately, he left the show early, didn't make it, but I mean, Tanner's always been another guy too. He's been a great supporter of the league, and he's been a great runner, and he's put a lot of hours in to racing and to OD Dub, and he
And
was
he's
definitely the
another one.
last one to close out the class.
And he's another one that just bounced back. I mean, he just got back on the game, and in my opinion, he was one that really stood out to me, and he was just me and him run a lot of races together. Me and him competed in points together, and he won the Drebin race at the 200 lapper we done. He, stood out huge in my opinion to me that he just he was one of those guys that he'd get mad sometimes and he'd come to us with his issues or whatever, but he always returned. He wasn't
Hmm.
the type to get mad and just quit. He always come back. He always, you know, he was one of them that stuck it out with us
Yeah.
since the time he started.
Oh yeah. I mean, he's one too that if he had a bad race or a bad accident happen the next time, but the last time he was there, he shakes it off, completely forgets about it, and he comes back with a fresh, clean look and attitude, and that's what's made him a great competitor. And the interesting fact about Tanner is the very last race that we did on the NASCAR Heat brand, and it was a special. It was the OD Dub 5-year anniversary race. Tanner Swaley won that race, and
He
that was
did.
a big crown jewel race. And Tanner Swaley got the win in that one. And there was a lot of big names there that night. Like Cobra was there, Dark Anning was there. There was a lot of big names that were in that race, and Tanner pulled
He,
off the upset.
yep. And Lord Farquaad, he deserved to be on the list. He may have long hair and he may look funny, but he's an alright guy.
Oh, absolutely. And Tanner's one guy we'll always let in the league with open arms. Same with all 20 of these men. I mean, all 20 of these guys, hats off to you. I mean, congratulations. And you guys definitely deserved this moment, and this was to honor you guys, the great OD Dub Hall of Famers. And this is the first class Hall of Fame of 2023 OD Dub. There's your 20 drivers that are inducted, and that moment can never be taken away from them, gentlemen. They definitely deserved it, and we'll possibly put together another 20 drivers next season. I mean, there's a lot of guys that have potential to be on in the Hall of Fame, and we'll keep doing races and see who deserves spots. But these guys definitely deserved it.
Oh yeah, and like you said, I want to congratulate them all, and I hope to see them all come back because I mean, if they all come back, it would be an unstoppable league. It would, that would be the barn burner.
Oh, absolutely. Yeah, definitely. But I mean, them guys are always welcome to open arms, and I know some of them are watching tonight, some of them aren't. But I mean, every single one of them will get a nice gratitude message from me and Iron Man both to let them know that they were inducted, regardless if they watch the stream tonight or not. So every one of them will know that they're in the OD Hall of Fame for sure. And we can't
Oh
thank
yeah,
every one of them enough, and that's why we're here as a league as we are today, because of these 20 great men that we just honored here tonight.
oh yeah. Hats off to all of them. They've all, had great accomplishments on here on our league. All of our stuff. They stood out. We've had, I wouldn't be scared to say, 100 different drivers,
Yeah.
and those 20 to me stood out more than any of the rest. Because I mean, not really taking away from anybody else, but the guys that we inducted tonight are the ones that showed up and was there, committed to our league, and helped us grow to what we are today, to stream, to help us better ourselves.
Hmm. Absolutely. I mean, even though we didn't start streaming right away, I mean, all 20 of these guys, well, I shouldn't say that. There's only one that never raced on our channel, and that was Deadpool. But 19 out of the 20 of these guys all raced on our channel. So that just goes to show you the commitment that they put into this league, and we can't ever thank them enough.
Yep.
So that will just about wrap things up. Like I kind of went over with the guys earlier tonight what the future is here in OD Dub. I mean, we're definitely going to do a lot more racing. It probably won't happen till
And we're
sometime
gonna
this
do
winter, most likely. I mean, once I'm on my paternity leave and stuff, and once we have our kids, things settle down a little bit, we'll get back on here and put on a heck of a league for sure. I mean, me and Ironman got a lot of plans, a lot of stuff down the pipe. So, I
and we
mean,
still got one more induction to do, and
oh, yes, we do. I forgot about that. We got
we got
one
a
more to
special
do.
induction.
Yes, we got a special induction. That was my bad. I apologize. We
We
got one more.
and I want to take the reins over on this one.
Yeah.
This one, he, this one stood out to me over anybody. He, uh, he had a short career with us on Oceans Dirt Warriors.
Hmm.
He, I run with him for a couple of years, got to know him really good. And this one, we done a memorial race for him, and that's Jordan Mad 4721 Foster. He, uh, he passed away this past year, and he was a good friend. His son, his dad, his brother, and he was a great competitor. And you know, in the heat race in the main tonight, I changed my number over his car, and a lot of us did for him in the memorial race. I've
Yep.
seen it since then. His brother still runs on his account. His brother's got an account. Um, we want to extend him out. He'll always be a part of Ocean's Dirt Warriors.
Yep.
And, he may not be with us anymore, but he's running tracks gold now and chasing checkers still. So, Mad, you will always be a part of the Ocean Dirt Warriors.
Oh, absolutely.
And, he run with us for 3/4 of a season. He was always a competitor, and if I'm not mistaken, he did win one race.
Actually, I don't think he did.
He won the heat that night.
Yeah, won a heat race. Yeah, yep,
Yeah, he won his heat race,
yep.
and you know he was always a competitor. He was always
Mhm.
one of them guys that would help out. He would do whatever we needed him to do if it was setting a heat race up or starting a party up. He was always the first one to jump in and offer to help. And I never will forget it. The last season he run with us, he messaged me and he said, "Can I still get in tonight's race?" And I told him, I said, "Roll call's already closed." He's like, "Come on, man, for mad." I was like, "Roll call's already closed, you know." Well, then we had a couple guys that didn't show. We wasn't gonna have a full field, and he kept messaging me. He's like, tell him I messaged you and you forgot about it. And then I told him, he's like, all right, I can be on in 5 minutes. And he jumped on and he was all excited and he messaged me and he run top five that night. And he's like, thank you for getting me in. I had a blast. I want to know, let me know when the next race is. And, it was always that kind of energy with him. He always enjoyed racing with us. He enjoyed the leagues. He tried to jump in every race he could. And he was one of them people that was just fun to be around.
Mhm. Absolutely, yeah. I mean, he definitely deserved to be in the Hall of Fame because, I mean, like you said, he never really had the opportunity to grow as a competitor because of, unfortunate circumstances. But, I mean, I tell you what, I mean, the little bit that I knew him, I mean, Madden was a great standout guy, and he will always be appreciated and remembered for what he did do as a racing competitor and as a good friend, I mean, that's what it's all about at the end of the day. The friendships that we build together here, I mean, will never be broken. I mean, and that's what makes me want to keep doing this is the friends that I get doing this. I mean, I don't show anyone favorites or anything. We're ones that will never do that, but just the friendships that we do have outside of the league and stuff. And I mean, a lot of the guys, you know, that I have on Facebook and Messenger are guys that are in my league that I can just, message and be like, hey, what's up? How's it going? And, a lot of times they don't ever shy away from messaging me back. And, them are the reason these people here are why I keep doing this and why I keep love doing this.
Exactly, and I'm right there with you. When uh, Ocean's League ended a few years back, I started one up just because Ocean schedule changed at work and he wasn't able to run a league. Well, people was still wanting to run our league. They was messaging me and Ocean, and I went by Ocean first, and I asked him, I was like, is it cool for me to start one up? And then I started Winter Series up, and then we kind of took it and run with it. When Ocean started being able to run again or stream it again, we moved the Winter Series over to his stuff, and we grew together, and it was because of the people that run our leagues and push us to keep going, and they want to see us grow, and they're growing with us, and we wouldn't be where we're at today without any of y'all. Y'all are what make this possible. Um, from my standpoint, I appreciate each and every one of y'all that's ever started a race with us. Whether it be just a practice race and then decide not to run. But we appreciate it for y'all.
Oh, absolutely. Yep. I couldn't have said any better than myself, Iron Man. But yeah, I mean, those are the 21 guys that we inducted into the class, and we stand
And
by it, and we're
you
definitely
know,
proud of it.
he just said in the YouTube stream the best way to describe what we have, and it's a racing family.
Absolutely. Yep.
And you know, we all started out, whether we didn't like each other at first or whatever, the case may be. You may be faster than me. I may be hitting you, whatever. But
Hmm.
we all become a racing family, and you know, we all become, like you said, good buddies, and it's all just worked out and evolved to where we are today.
Absolutely. I mean, Heat's another guy too. I mean, like he should obviously know, same as with some others a little bit. I mean, like before I even started running the league and stuff, I mean, I used to be just a regular racer, you know. I started on Heat 3 and Heat 4 just running, because I was always a dirt racing fan. I love the sport of it, but like at the beginning and stuff, when I was a young kid, I just want to get on there and have fun. I didn't really take it that seriously at first, and I ended up making a lot of enemies, and one of them happened to be was Heat 0819 at the beginning. I mean, every freaking time I would get on a lobby, if they would see my name, boom, I'm kicked, or if they would let me on, if I screwed up one little time, they had my ass in the wall, and they were just putting on me and whatever else. But I mean, when it starts like that, and then like, guys like him and some others, when I did start the league up, they were half hesitant to run. Oh, this guy's a douchebag, we don't want to run for him. But, once they seen, the creativity that I have, and, also once I got Iron Man with me too, once everyone's seen what type of people we are and the person that I am and the person that Iron Man is, it just helped us grow together as a bonding league racing family, and it's just made what OD is today because of people like them that didn't just fully judge me on how I was at first, because it goes to prove you may be shitty at first, but you can always adapt and change and be better. And I was a prime example of that. So
And so was I.
yeah, I mean, you were the same way too, telling me stories how, you used to have wars with Cobra and, you know,
Yep.
and then you guys became good friends. I mean, that's just part of it. I mean,
Oh yeah.
everyone
I
used to
mean,
hate me on racing games, but then once, I changed a little bit and I actually took it seriously, then I became one of the top and most, popular league owners. So, I mean,
oh yeah.
it goes to show the hard work that I put in, and I can't do it without our drivers. I mean, they helped me, and I helped them. I mean, we all worked together, and that's what
And
helped
I
us to
mean,
get to almost 200 subscribers already. So, and
exactly. And one thing I'd like to do is, we've worked with this guy through our league career, and I want to give a shout out to Extreme because he's always either welcomed us with open arms or helped you stream. His guys jumped over to our league and run some. Our guys jumped over it there with him. I'd like to shout him out too because he's always in our stream. He supports our league 110%. So I'd like to shout him out too.
absolutely. And I pretty much know exactly who you're talking about.
That's Extreme Dirt Racing
Yep.
RD. He's always helped us. And I didn't. I know you wouldn't, and I'm not going to either. I wouldn't go without recognizing him tonight either.
Oh, absolutely. Yeah, I mean, our RD's a great class act guy, and I mean his channel's probably one of near the top as far as league goes and stuff. But I mean, me and him both have been doing it. Me and him pretty much started up about the same time, and that was one comment I seen from RD that he respects our league because I mean, like me and him both know there's a lot of leagues that came and are no longer exist anymore, but
Oh yeah,
Extreme Dirt Racing and Ocean Dirt Wars both are still strong, productive leagues. I mean, yeah, I know ours hasn't been running as much as his, but I mean, we'll get back to the same playing field here pretty soon. But I mean, yeah,
and he
he,
and he. I watch 90% of his streams, and he watches all of ours. I've seen him every race. He's in there, and he
oh,
cheers our
absolutely.
drivers on. And if he's got guys in there, he cheers his guys on. And I just wanted to shout him out and say thank you for always being supportive to the Ocean Dirt Warriors and helping us grow.
Yeah, absolutely. And huge shout out to RD and Exchange there. I mean, and that's a prime example. Like a couple years ago, with Randman won our big crown jewels. And that was one time. I mean, all the drivers were asking for, hey, we want you and RD to be in a race together and commentate. And that did happen. If you go back and watch on our channel, it'll be the NASCAR Heat 5 Fall Speed Week. It was the finale race, 200 lapper. It was our only second one we did, and that was the only one we recorded. It was that Fanatic on Heat 5. Me and RD called that
Yep.
race, and I tell you what, it was a great experience to call a race with him, and I definitely hope to do it again sometime. I mean, I would love to get him back for another race. Maybe if we do another real big special one, I'll definitely get him back on there because he's a great guy. I mean, I even admit to him, I always looked up to him as far as, a commentator and league and stuff. And RD was a guy that actually raced in my league a couple times back when I raced, and me and him raced against each other a couple times. So, I mean, he's a great guy, and like I mean, he tried talking me into getting into it. My first two seasons, and I was like, nah. I was like, that ain't my thing. I'd rather race.
Oh
And
yeah.
we went our separate ways. But then once I realized, my time was up as a driver, and I wanted to try a different path. A lot of our drivers were like, hey, this guy did this guy did that, you know,
Yep.
and I never could have full proof. And that's when I was like, you know what? I'm going to start streaming these and commentating them, and look, here we are. It just helps me to be able to run the league so much better doing this. And, and like I never knew I had the talent to begin with as a commentator, but like I knew I was always like an action-packed guy. I always liked to make things interesting, and I'm still evolving as a commentator. I mean, I'm not perfect. I always and like every single race I do, I always go back and watch and be like, okay, I could have made a call or my voice tone this certain way for this certain angle and this certain action of this, lap or whatever. I'm
Oh yeah.
always adjusting and adapting with what I see, what I do every single race. So, I mean,
Oh yeah. And that's
it's a
one thing
lot
you
of
gotta
work
do to be
into it, but
better.
I enjoy every second of it. It's really fun, and I get to see the full race, right in front of my eyes, just the same as the viewers, and it's just awesome to call the action every single time.
Oh yeah. I mean, that's one thing you gotta do. You gotta be able to work together with others. You gotta like. I know. Me and you've discussed it before. You and RD's discussed what could be done different in the commentating side because I know I couldn't do it. But, you and RD's discussed it, and RD's gave you tips, and you've helped him, and stuff like that. And it's just one of them things where if you want to grow, you're going to have to be able to take the downside of it, too.
Yeah,
So, for us to be able to grow as a league and as the YouTube channel starting to grow, I mean, last season we closed out with right at 100 followers, and we're up to 170 something now.
yep,
So, that just goes to show the races we've done in the off season, we've grown, and we ain't even running a full season yet. This is just little races here and there.
hmm And
Once
that's the
we get,
thing too. I mean, I know that's what you got to do to grow the channel and stuff, but like I said, my plan's full to keep doing full seasons and stuff once, stuff gets
oh
settled
yeah,
down. I
once
mean, I'm in the
everything gets settled
process
back,
of, yeah, exactly, because I'm
oh
in the
yeah, I
process of
mean,
soon moving and stuff. So, I mean,
oh yeah,
once I get all that stuff settled down and stuff, I'll be full on board getting back on
oh yeah,
here and putting on a great league for all of our great guys. And I know our channel's going to keep growing. And I mean, like
oh
you were
yeah,
saying about with how me and RD keep like going back and forth tips. I mean, we always do. And like the thing that fascinates me, like I know me and him both watch our races all the time. And the one thing that fascinates me is the fact that I've seen like stuff that me and him used to do. Like now, me and him both do it on our stuff. You know, like prime example, like there's some stuff I've seen him do that I've changed to how I run our format and races and stuff, and I've seen him do it on his. Like, because like before, he never really did much live streams. I mean, now I see him doing quite a bit of live streams besides just editing. I mean, I would do editing and stuff too, but I'm not as good with that as what he is. And I
Oh
don't
yeah,
have the technology like he is to do it, but hopefully someday I can try to figure that out. But as far as with the live stream stuff, I mean, I've seen him like the one of the special races he just did. I mean, he did the full format exactly I did. I mean, he did a little more than me. He recorded like the qualifiers, the heats. He recorded everything, and I mean, that's what we've been doing lately because it's just quite frankly it makes you feel like you're at a real dirt race when you're recording everything because you're literally
oh yeah,
showing everyone the whole entire night. You're not just, I mean, yeah, there was a lot of times we had to do it because of how many league races we were doing. We didn't have the time to do it, but when we just do short plan races like this, you can literally spend the whole night showing everyone everything that you did. And it
yep.
just makes more
And
people want to watch it when they can watch the whole thing. Because if you go to a regular dirt race, you're not just going to go there and watch the B mains and the A. You're going to watch hot laps. You're going to watch qualifying, heats. Like the Outlaws do the dashes and stuff. You're going to get everything right there when you pay for it to get in. So
and
I
the
try to
thing I
make it
like
feel
about the
like
live
that.
feed, the thing I like about the live feed is you can interact with the people that's on there. You know, reaching out to them saying who you think is going to win tonight. Stuff like that. I mean, it's the stuff that the viewers want to see. Coming into it because they want to be a part too.
Yeah.
It could be somebody's kid or something like that. You're sitting there talking to them, making their day because they're getting to watch their dad or brother or whatever race. And it's just the simple fact of it's all about what you want to do with, or it's all about what you got. As
Yeah.
far as technology, it's all about what you want to do. If you got the time to edit and all that, because if you ain't got time or technology or something like that to edit, it's fine just to do a live feed. You're still getting your name out there. You're still getting the league name out there and producing stuff people want to see because people actually. I mean, it's clear we got viewers in all night on the race, on this, people in the chat talking. It's clear people want to see it. So why not give them what they want to see and let them interact with us while we're doing it?
Mhm. Yeah, absolutely. Well, I mean, that pretty much just about wraps up tonight. I mean, we had a heck of a good night. I mean, I enjoyed my 26th birthday. I mean, it was an amazing day, and I enjoyed spending it with you guys, and it was an awesome experience. We had a great race tonight, and an awesome, fantastic Hall of Fame ceremony. I was glad I got a lot of interactions with our old drivers and stuff. Them thanking us and stuff. It really makes me feel that we didn't do this without them noticing, and we greatly appreciate their support.
Oh
But
yeah, I've had people messaging me on Facebook that watched the stream. We got Tay in the chat. We got Bot Killer in the chat. We got Tanner, WFO Schwinger, Ginger, which is um, Mad's mom. She tuned in tonight. Um, we got Heat in here. We got a couple people in here watching. And I want to say thanks to everybody that stuck around and you know come back and watch it. And if you didn't get a chance to stick around, come back tomorrow and watch it. We appreciate it no matter what.
oh,
If you watched the
absolutely.
video, if you shared a video, whatever. I mean, no matter what, we're going to appreciate whatever you do. And we at Ocean's Dirt Warriors want to thank our drivers, our viewers, everybody that supported us along the way because looking back on it now from 7 seasons ago and the little races we've done here and there and the money races, stuff like that, we all, me and Ocean never thought we'd be at the level it's at now.
Mm-mm.
I mean,
No, you never
we've,
do.
we put a lot of time and effort, and it's all for y'all because y'all show up, y'all show us the support, y'all show us you want us to do it, and it ain't even gotta have money involved. And just like tonight, we had 38 people signed in, 26 showed up, 16 started the race, and I mean, we had new guys. We had what, 10 new guys in the race tonight,
Yeah, and I think about five, we had six new guys that made the A main show here tonight. So that just goes
and
to show you the talent that's here and that's definitely going to grow.
and you know we want to let y'all know we appreciate y'all. I mean, yeah, we've put a lot of thought. We when we start making the league up, we start making these races up. We put a lot of thought and a lot of effort in it to make it better for everyone.
Hmm.
So we appreciate y'all just as much as y'all do us. And we have our drivers that say thank you every race.
Yeah.
And we may say, we may joke around with you, whatever, but that means a lot to us because we put a lot of time and effort in because we want to see our league grow. We want to see our drivers happy and our supporters, our fans, whatever. And we're going to keep pushing and making Ocean's Dirt Warriors even bigger and even better.
Yeah, absolutely. Well, you got anything else to say, Iron Man, before we close this Hall of Fame video out?
No, I'll see y'all on the next one.
Absolutely, but I'm going to say one thing now. I want to personally thank every single driver. I mean, I don't even, like, not even with this Hall of Fame list, just everyone in general that's raced in this league. I'm
Yep,
just going to say that right now because, like, everyone that's raced in this league, regardless if it was before we started the channel or if it was after we started the channel, me, it's Oceanic telling you guys thank you very
yep,
much because, you know, everyone always made me better as a league promoter and always made, like, I'm not even kidding, like, just the excitement that I got watching all these races over the years and streaming them, calling the action, it just makes me like every time a race is done, automatically I have new ideas popping in my head every time. Do better to grow. Not only that, but like what other events we can do.
yep.
We've done so many different special events. It's like crazy the amount that we've done, and same with the leagues and
Speed
stuff. And
Week, King of the Hill. I mean, just to name a
yeah,
few.
King of the Hill, Winter Nationals.
King of the Hill, we was bracket racing. I mean, two people on the track for 3 laps. It
Yeah.
was something totally different.
You know, we
And
did a
then we,
false we did a fall speed week where it was like 5 straight days in a row of nothing but racing. First 4 days it was group racing where you had two prelim features for points, and then you had a big, ending finale race and stuff like that. And we had a big 3 day event also before, and we just done a lot of great, amazing stuff. And one time Randman told me one time best that I'm just like a magician when it comes to coming up with events and coming up with ideas because he said he's just amazed with the stuff that I've done that he's not seen really any other people do. And him telling me that gave me more inspiration and more power to be like, okay, I'm actually good at this. This is something I can keep going and keep riding with. And it just goes to show, like tonight, I mean, like I literally came up with this whole thing in literally a little over a week. Like that just goes to show like how quick I can come up with something and turning into something like this. And I mean, it's not just me. Iron Man's also a big help and supporter. I mean, I wouldn't be where I am without him. I mean, he always helps me, gives me the proper tips and tools to be successful, and he's always here on time as an admin, and he's always helping me answer questions and concerns, and he always helps me throughout the night, far as if it's either making lobbies, getting people in where they need to be, going over rules and stuff like that, whatever it may be, whatever calls we need to make when races are done, he's always there to help me, and I greatly appreciate everything you do, Admin Iron Man, and I'm looking forward to the rest of it, man. It's gonna be a fun ride.
Oh yes, we may hit some bumps in the road, but it's gonna be a fun ride.
Oh, absolutely. And with some of
And
our
I,
guys telling us we're gonna come back, this is only just the beginning. I mean, there's gonna be a lot of stuff we got coming up this winter that's gonna knock your socks off. I promise you. Because I'm more
and
motivated than ever to get back to full league racing, and y'all are gonna be
oh yeah,
amazed with what we come up with.
and we've got a Facebook page now. It is under Ocean's Dirt Warriors, same profile picture as the YouTube channel. Make sure you go follow it to keep up with all the league details, stuff like that. We'll keep it updated. Um, we will keep everything rolling there, and that'll be the easiest way to keep track with what's going on with the league.
Yes, sir. Well, we thank you very much for tuning in to this, ladies and gentlemen, but we are going to close it out. So thank you all so very much. If you haven't already, please like and subscribe to our channel. And y'all have a great and wonderful evening. And we're going to close this video out, so y'all have a wonderful evening.